Okay, bros. This is your weekly NXT Fix on the OK Bros Wrestling Recap, featuring the ever so popular Bro Ratings. Now, here's your host, OK Bros. I'm your host, Jimmy the Gibson, and this is your NXT Fix. Let's get right to it, because on Thursdays, we wear yellow, and this is Faux Hawk November. We told you last week, no Denozo, no NCIS, and that is going to stand true. So, before we get started on NXT, let's take a quick pause for the cause and show you this week's tasty beverage. We've got the Omission Hard Seltzer Pomegranate Blueberry Acai. Oh, nice. Yeah, it's not really that great, but we'll take it. Really missing these mountain berries at this point in time. So, fantastic episode of NXT opens up with a North American Championship match between new champion Leon Ruff versus Johnny Gargano. Look, these two had the shock of the year last week with Leon Ruff winning the title. The rematch, I think everybody knew what was going to happen. Johnny Gargano was going to win that title right back. But no, he did not. Damian Priest comes down, distracts Gargano. You thought Leon Ruff was going to roll him up 1, 2, 3, but Gargano kicks out. Leon Ruff's on the outside. Priest looks at Gargano, looks at Ruff, and goes, "Sorry, kid." Punches Ruff in the face. Disqualification. Leon Ruff is your winner. Retains the North American Championship. We did not see that one coming, bros. I'm really liking how this storyline's going. So, with that being said, bros, we're going to give this one a very solid 7.5 on the Bro Ratings. Now, keep in mind, this was a big-time match because it had a big-time referee. The return of Super 10 Referee. Moving on, we go into a segment each week that we've come to love and enjoy. It's Grimes time! Cameron Grimes drops some more beautiful spoken words on us. This week, he's backstage, and he says, "Last week, I showed that Cameron Grimes isn't afraid of Dexter Lumis. After I covered up his eyes, I showed that he's just a regular man. And Cameron Grimes, he's afraid of no man. Cause Cameron Grimes is a rocket ship. And after I win this blindfold match tonight, Cameron Grimes is gonna be going to the moon. It's Grimes time." Moving on, we had your blindfold match between Cameron Grimes and Dexter Lumis, featuring the zombie referee. Now, the biggest part of this match, the biggest spot, was when Cameron Grimes knocked out the referee and just was kicking the living crap out of the zombie referee. Eventually, Grimes takes his blindfold off. Lumis starts beating down Grimes. Both blindfolds are off. Lumis is chasing Grimes around, beating him around, and Grimes hops over the steel cage, the barricade, and just runs away. these two men probably pulled it off as best as they could, but was kind of really a downer at this point in time. I think we need to move on from this feud. Look, we love everything Cameron Grimes is doing, but it's time to move on. So with that being said, we are going to give this one a 6.6 on the bro ratings. Moving on, we had William Regal was very upset that Priest was interfering in the Ruff versus Johnny match. So Ruff comes in and he questions Priest. He goes, "Hey, you think I'm a joke? I'm nobody's joke." And he smacks Priest in the face. So we then go to another thing backstage where Shotzi Blackheart tells Candice LeRae to get herself an army because we are going to war. Ow, ow, ow! And you know what that means, bros? War Games! Been calling it for weeks now. Our next match of the evening was tag team action. Kacy Catanzaro and Kayden Carter versus Candice LeRae and Indi Hartwell. Something seemed a little off in this match. Wasn't terrible. Wasn't the greatest. Candice LeRae won with a, I don't know, kind of held her arms and stomped her face down. I forget what they call it. And got the 1, 2, 3. So Candice and Indi are your winners. We're going to give this one a 6.2 on the bro ratings. Then we had our next match, which was new face to NXT, Arturo Ruas, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, who I've come to know from Evolve Wrestling, and he did a little stint on Raw Underground while he was training in the Performance Center, working like a little bit with NXT. But this is a kind of re-debut here. So Arturo Ruas versus Kushida. And this match showed a lot of holds, a lot of grappling, a lot of submissions, and a couple strikes mixed in here and there. Thought it was a pretty decent match between the two. Looking forward to more from both Kushida and Ruas. Kushida did get the surprise bridge into a pin. 1, 2, 3, pinned Ruas. Kushida is your winner. And with that being said, bros, we're going to give this match a 7.1 on the bro ratings. Now, moving on, we have your intermission. Wink. And we're back! Ha ha ha! See? I told you, bros. No more interruptions. No intermissions even. I cut that segment completely out. Jimmy the Gibson wins. Moving on, we have a little backstage interview with Ember Moon and Toni Storm talking about their upcoming match against Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. Then we had different clips around NXT. Who's going to win tonight? Io Shirai or Rhea Ripley? As a matter of fact, the inner bro circle had some votes itself. And your winner on a 6-3 vote would be Rhea Ripley over Io Shirai. Ha! Just kidding. It's actually 6 votes for Io Shirai, 3 votes for Rhea Ripley. So let's see what happens later on in the night. Your next contest was that women's tag team match. Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez versus Ember Moon and Toni Storm. What a fantastic match! I mean, we had some explosive, hard-hitting action here, and in the end, it was, in fact, Toni Storm with the surprise roll-up, getting the pin, 1, 2, 3, and Ember and Toni defeat Dakota and Raquel to win this tag team match. But at the end of the match, Candice LeRae and Indi Hartwell come out, beat down Toni and Ember, throw them in the ring. Dakota's kicking everybody in the face. Raquel Gonzalez is power slamming everyone down. So, I think that's a little foreshadowing there, bros. So this match, great tag team match. We're going to give this one a very solid 8.4 on the bro ratings. Moving on, we had the arrival for the brand. That's right, 1E, 2E, 3, 4E. Pat McAfee, Pete Dunne, Oney Lorcan, Danny Burch arrive. And they say, you know what? We heard Finn Balor's going to be here tonight. Let's see what happens with that. Then, our next matchup featured none other than, once again, Super Tan Referee. And it was Retro AG. That's right, my boy August Gray versus Timothy Thatcher. Pretty good contest between the two, but in the end, Thatcher locked in. I believe they called it a grommet. That's what Wade Barrett called it, a grommet. Some sort of front chokehold. And August Gray tapped immediately. Decent match between the two. Thatcher at the end of the match said, here's today's lesson. Don't pick a fight with someone you can't beat. And then Tommaso Ciampa's music comes down. He gets in the ring, stares down Thatcher. Thatcher walks away. So, with that being said, bros, this match is going to get a 7.3 on the bro ratings. Moving on, we had Tommaso Ciampa interviewed backstage, and the girl who was interviewing him asked the dumbest question ever. And Ciampa replied by saying, I tried to make it obvious what I want. I want to fight Thatcher. I mean, come on. Completely unnecessary. But it was good to see Ciampa and good to hear him speak. Our next segment of the evening was Damian Priest versus an unnamed opponent. Priest is in the ring. Johnny Gargano comes out and attacks him. They're brawling. Who comes out? None other than Leon. Ruff, your North American champion. He gets involved. Priest and Johnny are bumping into each other. They're knocking each other out. Ruff stands in the ring, holds the title up, and he's like, yeah! And the timing was perfect here, bros. Priest and Gargano kind of looked at each other and just rise up outside of the ring, and they both are staring dead at Leon Ruff. And Leon Ruff is like, uh-oh, what did I just do? Slides out of the ring. As they're coming in the ring, Ruff runs away. I like where they're going with this. Did not really care for this segment. Thought it was unnecessary or could have even been done next week. So with that being said, it is an in-ring segment. Wasn't really a match, but we're going to give that one a 6.7 on the bro ratings. Moving on, we had William Regal goes to Boa's house and wants to know what's going on. And Boa says, she's coming. And Regal goes, what, Xia Li's coming? And he goes, no, Xia's hiding, but she's coming. We'll see what happens there. I don't know. Not a huge fan of the storyline, but if it leads to something new, then we'll be happier once that happens. Leon Ruff backstage says, you know what? Everyone thinks I'm a joke. Well, you know what? I'll face both of them. Talking about Johnny and Priest. So hopefully that's something we see on the next TakeOver or a big-time match in one of these next upcoming weeks. Moving on, we have your main event of the evening. The NXT Women's Championship. That's right. The Women's Championship. Io Shirai defending against Rhea Ripley. All I have to say about this match, bros, is if you haven't watched it, pause this video right now. Stop this video. Put this on pause. Do yourself a favor. Watch it. Fantastic match between Io and Rhea. And you know what? Did we expect anything otherwise between these two women? I mean, you had stiff action. You had high flying. You had fast paced. You had power moves. You had submissions. I mean, you had it all. These two women showed their versatility here where they could work any kind of style and you didn't even need any kind of gaga, which means, you know, tables, ladders, chairs, all that stuff. Although there was a great spot where Io Shirai powerbombs Rhea Ripley through the announce table. I mean, fantastic stuff. At one point in time, I thought Rhea was going to tap. At one point in time, I thought Io was going to tap. There were so many close pinfalls. This was fantastic. This would probably get an even higher grade if it wasn't for the little slow beginning where I believe Io Shirai bumped the back of her head into the side or front of Rhea Ripley's head, so they were obviously checking on Io to make sure she was okay, which was well done and appreciated. This match ended after that powerbomb spot through the table. Io Shirai gets in the ring. Rhea Ripley follows her to avoid the 10 count. As Rhea Ripley rolls in the ring, Io Shirai hits the moonsault for the 1, 2, 3, your winner, and still NXT Women's Champion, Io Shirai. Bros, with that being said, we have just witnessed the greatest NXT Women's Championship match, at least since we've started doing these bro ratings. I mean, Io Shirai has only gotten better. I mean, Io versus Dakota was great. Io versus Candice was even better. Io versus Candice at Halloween Havoc was even better than that. And this one tops them all. In fact, this one is right up there with some of the best we've seen all year. Right up there with Balor versus Kyle O'Reilly. So, with that being said, bros, we're going to give this match a coveted bro rating of a 9.6 on the bro ratings. Wow. 9.6. Well deserved. Fantastic match. Io, Rhea. And you know what? As it looked after this match, looks like this was probably the send-off for Rhea Ripley. Wish her the best of luck wherever she ends up, even though my heart hopes she stays in NXT. And we see this match one more time on a takeover. So, moving on, this was our main event, but we had a couple minutes of overrun. So, Finn Balor comes out to the ring and says, you know what? Congratulations, Io Shirai. But the Prince is back. And I've had 2 dislocations in my jaw, 3 plates screwed into my jaw, but I'm ready to go. And who comes out? None other than the self-proclaimed kings of NXT for the brand. 1E, 2E, 3E, 4E, Pat McAfee, Pete Dunne, Oney Lorcan, Danny Burch, and they just start trash-talking everybody. They say, Drake Maverick, Killian Dane, Breezango, dead. The Undisputed Era, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roddy Strong, Bobby Fish, dead. And Finn Balor, if you keep this up, you're next. You're going to be dead. Finn Balor says, look, been gone a couple weeks. I guess that's what happens when the cat's away. The mice decide to come to play. Well, you know what? The cat's back. And look what I just dragged in. The lights go out. And then, bros, we get Shock the System. That's right. Adam Cole, baby, and the Undisputed Era show up. All 4 of the boys. All 4 of the Era boys. That's right. Cole, O'Reilly, Fish, Strong. They show up. And they bombard ringside. And they beat the crap out of the self-proclaimed kings. Brawl to end the show. And I believe we may have even heard the famous Tony Schiavone line of, we're out of time. But good stuff there, bros. Another in-ring segment. So we're going to give that one, with this return of Balor and the Undisputed Era, the Brawl, we know where this is going. We're going to give this one a solid 8.0 on the bro rating. So with that being said, bros, very easy to predict this one. Your match of the night was none other than Io Shirai versus Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's Championship. And we had a lot of in-ring segments and matches this week. In fact, there were 9, which is a lot. Usually this brings the bro ratings down on average, but we had some bangers of matches and segments. I mean, good stuff this week, including that match of the night. So, with 9 in-ring segments, that gives us an average bro rating of 7.49. Now, next week, they have not announced any matches, but I'm going to give you real quick my predictions for War Games. We've got the Undisputed Era 4 versus the kings of NXT for the brand. Therefore, going against each other in War Games. And your other War Games match will be Team Candice, LeRae, Indi Hartwell, Dakota Kai, and Raquel Gonzalez versus Team Shotzi, Blackheart, and she's going to have Io Shirai, and she's going to have Ember Moon, and she's going to have Toni Storm with her. I mean, that would be a fantastic War Games match-up. So, once again, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, comment below, and once again, we've had no interruption. Piss off. Wanker. Well, I'm your host, Jimmy the Gibson. See you bros next week. Same time. Same place.